Well, could I just get like a special dance then instead?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm up for that.
Me too.
So up for it.
Me too.
Oh.
What time did we start? 11?
Correct.
Yes.
Tasha, what am I playing today?
80s dance.
You're right. You know why? Because you can go down this whole list, and there's not a single song on here that has an E next to it.
What?
A single song that has an E next to it, the explicit. I can't play the explicit tunes.
Oh.
I can play 80s dance all the time because there's no explicit tunes out there. If you move 90s dance, immediately you move 90s to 90s dance, forget it.
Oh, how about today's?
Well, no, you go from half the songs to 3/4 of the songs to all the songs. I wish I was joking.
So I went to see,
That surprised me.
I went to see Pitbull, hi,
Oh,
at the,
fun.
State
Well,
Fair.
that's cute.
It's a red bench.
Yeah, it is. I have a sign for you and you can use it or not.
And Iggy Azalea opened. Well, I bumped into my cousin right before the concert. She brought her 10-year-old son.
You don't wanna,
Look at
just give it back to me.
No, we're using it. 10-year-old son and 13-year-old daughter.
You can do crazy stuff, I will absolutely go to bat with that.
I said,
Good.
I was like,
Whoa.
I wonder if my cousin's upset right now. She immediately sends me this emoji. What am I doing here? But see, I would have taken my kids and left. I would not have stayed. She stayed. Different parenting stuff.
Yeah.
Paid for the tickets at that point, but still,
No.
you should have known better than
Yeah.
this.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would have known Iggy Azalea would be.
I feel like both are bad. Both, I mean,
The both dancers were half dressed, yeah.
yeah.
Like literally half dressed. So,
Anyway.
anyway.
Where you look, though. Look at the high schools.
Right. Need any more?
Just gonna get one more.
That'll be it then.
We just watched TMZ special on who really killed Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh, I remember right where I was when I found out he died. Who really killed him? Doctor?
Himself, kind of.
Both? Probably a combo.
Combination of doctors and himself. The final doctor was just the final doctor.
Kind of reminds me, it's like similar to the Elvis story. It seems like it, doesn't it?
Kind of.
Did I move? I don't even, I'll look. I'm just going to.
Probably, changing my mind.
I don't know you were moving. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Hello.
Laura.
How are you?
Good.
Oh, you're way better at dancing than I am.
Four kids went off yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know what you said. Yeah,
Should I go check with him?
Anywhere.
Jason? What's up, Skilly? The skillet.
Oh, geez.
No, I appreciate you pointing that out. Oh, you are here.
Yeah, hey, I was going to say, Brian, John.
I'm a little. All right, that's the way you want to be.
Well, and that's where you guys have to pack, action back.
You didn't have football pool today. Don't they always call you? Somebody don't come up. Lots of balloons for that. I don't know, that might make the whole thing better. That sounds like it's getting better as I think about it.
Yeah, so I just blow them up and then they just float around. I don't.
They won't like it,
So
but.
when I did that one over there, I used that art, I never used that. I like it much easier. Do it. They look nice.
Never done it before.
Yeah.
I will take an expert's word for it.
We do it all for everything. We literally have at everything my family does.
We need a balloon
There's a
merchant.
picture wall at everything.
got the skill, you might as well use it.
Let's go.
How you doing? Good. It's exciting. It's Wednesday, it's exciting. Vendor fair today.
Yeah.
All kinds of fun stuff. I mean, even Eric Skillstead's here today.
That's what the price.
Generally speaking, yes. Just to have him. Here's Scotty Ringley.
Thanks for announcing me as I walk in.
No problem. That's part of my bit.
Not weird at all.
It is not weird. Alyssa?
Oh, I mean, that was.
Your first team meeting.
It is indeed.
She has no idea what to expect.
Hold on to your seat.
So is this where, like in retail, you tell her, hey, I need you to go downstairs and get last week's ads?
Yeah, right.
And there's, of course, no downstairs, but
Right.
everybody sends her all around the store to find the stairs.
Oh, okay.
They were in that.
Really?
I don't know
Well,
what.
and I thought you sent it, I looked at it and said you sent it an hour ago, I'm like, no one else has sent it.
I know, that's why it's weirded out.
And so that's what I looked to see, was there another one that you sent, you know, and I tried to scroll down and there was nothing to.
Yeah, nobody else said anything, it's the scene that said they didn't really say.
Okay. Okay, there, and I have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, then yeah, so I have. I was really disappointed when. I know.
You know what's funny is I got bored and I felt bad.
No, I.
Because I wanted to say, now you count on my count.
Yeah, I was on Jason Cross, I'm like,
Well, I got so busy yesterday, I forgot to reply.
Oh, there's Lisa.
Hello.
How are you today, man?
Good, good.
Excited to have you here?
okay.
What?
Excited to have you here? That's how I am.
You're always excited.
Well, it's good to be excited. Exciting,
Top five on the losing end.
right?
Exactly.
You know?
Look at you.
It's time for meeting to start. You should get out of here.
I do too. Yeah, I agree, 'cause I did a lot of, you know, my shirt
No, I can't.
Going to?
Yeah.
I didn't give it to you.
Nope.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, it's funny, because she emailed me right around the same time.
Oh, and said there's no attachment?
Yeah. But I think I said it like an hour ago, and nobody said it. So there's no way to do that.
Because we glaze over your emails.
Right, I know, I guess from now on, I'm just gonna send super forward emails and see how long it takes for you guys to respond to those.
Your emails end up in spam because I drag them.
Mine's better.
No, our show was, years ago, and then, no, we like the Renaissance, we don't like the Renaissance.
Oh, look at this.
But whenever we've gone.
Second one?
Jody! Holy heck, Michelle here? What do we got going on? It's a party! We were waiting for the party, now the party coming in.
Eddie, about 10 years ago, we had
Hey,
the most fun ever.
John, how you doing, sir?
See, and I don't like.
Red
it.
shoes are where it's at.
But he went along and he
So, if they are looking in our direction, we will be pushed forward.
Michelle, I love your dress.
I figured, you know, I might as well dress up that. And actually, I got to get ready to film what the wedding.
Start getting used to it.
That is a very pretty dress.
Purple's my favorite. Michelle, where did you get your? Okay. This year?
It was online.
But this year? This year? You'll be surprised if I copy you.
Let's put it on a slideshow, let's get this bad boy underway. Back to school, so Daddy doesn't think I'm a fool. One for you. Michelle. Joey, the funny one that you don't know. Oh, Joey, that's a funny one, you gotta find it.
Cut this other one.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right. So who's ready to get to eat lunch? Well, we're not ready for lunch yet, so we gotta get moving so we can eat lunch. Great.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It's Sarah.
You like to sit by us.
Speaking of gorgeous outfits.
So, back to school time. We all know the fall's back to school, Labor Day ends. How does that happen? After Labor Day, we gotta get back to school, fairs over, all that kind of stuff. And yet the fair starts today. Right? Vendor fair today, in keeping with that. And in addition to that, launching into a number of different training initiatives coming up that we'll be talking about today, all in keeping with that idea that it is time to get back to school, back to standards, back to basics, which is the fundamentals of SHIP training, by the way. How do we get back to stuff? So, Matt, what do we have next? Bucket fills. That's a weird bucket. You wouldn't mind, Tasha?
What are you grateful for and why? All the amazing people at our market center.
There you go, all of y'all, all y'all. Lisa, what do we got?
And the irony, Candace's smile and hugs make the world a better place.
You chose to sit there, Candace. You knew it. Tim,
The agents who took time to teach Ignite, thank you.
awesome. What a great event that was, and super awesome to have everybody be involved in that teaching and learning stuff for our newest agents and getting on the map. Michelle,
It says for Chad S., he taught Ignite and stayed for an extended period of time to assist new agents.
awesome. Of all the people I've seen teach, Chad was like, he was super engaged. He was up here doing the bold chants and whatnot. He was ready to go. Very different level there. So it was awesome to have people stay extra and really put in a lot of time and effort. And if you didn't have the chance to go this time, look forward to it next time, because I know that we're gonna get better and better and better every time we do it. Tom.
Jana Riley's kindness.
Well, there you go. Jana out there impacting people from a distance, as she often does. Jody, I don't know if you can say that right, but it is what it is.
Liz.
Thanks. Well delivered. And my good friend Steve.
So whatever that means.
I am grateful for the grateful jar.
The Grateful Jar. There we go. Finish up with the Grateful Jar. There you go. Bucket fills, fake Grateful Jar. If you're ever curious about the bucket, it is up by the front desk. Grateful Jar. You can throw things in there that you are grateful for. So the Spirit Award. We had a wonderful Spirit Award winner last time, as we always do, but this time I'm gonna bring forward Krista so she can not only talk about who she'd like to nominate or have selected as the Spirit Award winner this time, but she also has a request that we might be able to help her with.
And he's not here, where'd he go? First off, I just wanted to share with you, for over 10 years, I have been working with Hope for Tomorrow, mentoring 8th graders and 8th grade girls, and we are looking, a lot of the schools were shut down for the last 2 years with COVID. And so we're trying to rebuild some of the schools that need help, and I know Lakeville and Burnsville are 2 of them that we're trying to find more mentors. It's a once a month, about 2.5 hours once a month in the school, depending on what day of the week they do it and that kind of thing. And during the school year, so it's an 8-month, so it's 8 commitments, and 2 of the times are a field trip to a business, and 1 is to a college tour. And just looking, if anybody has any kind of interest that might want to do a little volunteering, we are meeting, we're having an information meeting on September 19th at 6:30 to 7:30. It's really short, just to kind of give people an idea. You can also go on the website. I'll have more information later today too, but yeah, we're gonna have information meeting at the community center. So, and we do have boys chapters too. They're looking to rebuild the Lakeville Boys chapter, and the Burnsville Boys chapter and Rosemount are looking for some additional men to help with mentoring the boys groups. We don't have boys groups as many as we do girls, but so if anybody's got an interest in, talk to me more about it. Spirit Award, I'll tell you, it's been kind of a crazy, I'm glad I got this, but in the same sense, I feel like I should have got the Stressed Award. But it has been a crazy year. But I do have, and I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to really interact with a lot of the agents, and even in the resource room where I usually catch a lot of them and that kind of thing. So I apologize for that. That has been kind of a crazy year. But I do have one person that kind of stuns to mind just because he was a godsend to me last month. I had been working with a client and he's not here, but I have been working with a client for over 5 months, trying to find if she was a referral. She was a sister of a past client of mine who moved here from Florida, and she didn't qualify for it. She was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 children, 2 adult children, and one's going to college, one's working, and that kind of thing. And we had her all qualified. She couldn't, and then at the last minute, right before, and we went through lots of hoops to get her. We started at FHA, no luck getting an FHA offer through. Went to 5% conventional, still no luck. Got to 20%, but I ended up with an agent who was somebody I've known for years and years, and I just begged him, and I said, "What will it take? Counter us whatever it takes to get this lady a home." And then we get it, and a week and a half before closing, we find out she had a bankruptcy. And it didn't show up before. She said, no, it's a short sale. It was all taken care of in Florida. Didn't work. So we ended up getting her daughter pre-approved at the last minute because she was on it with her to be able to qualify for a little bit more because she didn't qualify on her own. So I have to say a big thank you, a big shout out, because Brian, I can't tell you what he went through in the last week and a half before this thing, but he got it closed on time because there was a bunch of them in a row. Brian Sunder was a godsend this last month, and so the Spirit Award is going to him because he goes above and beyond, and I
Second, because Jamie's got words.
Oh, just want to say, thank you so much for the vegetables.
Oh.
The spices, you put a pep in my step.
That was well played. Well played, Jamie. If you guys don't know this, and I don't know how you wouldn't know this, but we go back and forth, that one's gonna be difficult to top. So, new agents have joined our team recently. Phil Winchell. I always mess up. And Madeline Lopez. Phil is on the Scott's business team. And Madeline is joining us as new agent, as well as Brian Mosey. I think I saw him back there. Brian. Woo-hoo. Brian has joined HHG, but he, unknowing to him, sat next to the other new agent, Alyssa Webster. And we would like to welcome, and if you both can send up, our new directors of First Impressions, Sherry and Sandy. So, most important day, right? I've said that before. And then I announced 11 people all at the same time, most important day. So changes are coming, but you will each get a copy of these so you can post them to your social media sites. You'll see that in your mailbox later today. And my good friend Jamie's gonna come out here and give away some stuff. So if you're here, come on down, Amanda Mendoza Capper. Come on down, Amanda. Come on down. Come on down, Amanda. Ashley is not here.
Cappers tend to be a little cooler.
Justin Holland out there. And Michelle, both from HHG. Spencer. Nicole, Kelly, capping. How about that? Nicole. Corey Payton. Down there, we have our receivers team, Captain, what else we got? Cheryl Cummings, Captain. Tony Taylor, Captain. Kristen Rezac, Captain. Jason Baker, Captain. And Sarah Anderson, Captain. That's a big one. I don't know why it's so square. You guys should have seen me fight with that thing for hours trying to resize it, and finally I just said, well, it's odd numbers, so. It was entertaining word for it. My good friends who always want to talk about profit share in addition to capping and the relevance of that, just want to run through these things real quick because you want to be on this list. I mean, you want to be on this list because passive income is super important. And one of the best things about Keller Williams, it underlies why we are successful. The profit share motive that we offer to everybody to be successful is super important. Steve, Carmen, Colin, Amanda, David, Scotty, Jamie, Megan, Shannon, and Jason. We give them all a hand because we're so excited to be helping out and seeing those things grow with everybody and continuing that process on down the line. Next, Jamie's going to talk about our upcoming events and what's coming down the pipe. Jamie.
Well, first of all, on the profit share end, there's a lot of agents out there that don't yet know that they need us and they need you. So please reach out to people. I didn't know what I didn't know. Now I know way too much, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But there just might be a special surprise for people who show up live to this, the next meeting in St. Peter, September 21st. So come on down there. I'll let Jason think about what that surprise might be.
Yay!
Did you do the cap tip? That's a capper.
I wore the cap today just to tip the cap to all the cappers, and then I booted it. It was like a plan. Just like plans.
Boom! Awesome. I love all these words. Mega. Boom. Then there's. There's so many great acronyms with this company. I mean, I have trouble remembering all the letters of the alphabet. I don't know why.
Who's that last?
Why?
I
All right, what is bold? All right, so before I came here, I heard all about bold because I was at the other end of all the phone calls from all y'all. And so I know it's very aggressive. 7 weeks, 7 days, 36 hours of action-packed materials. Reset your mindset. This is really underrated, in my opinion. Mindset. This sets the table for everything we do. Take time out to set the mindset. As Jason said, Chad did such a great job of that before he makes his calls and how he amps himself up, puts himself in the right mindset. Help ensure you overcome limiting beliefs and hit those big goals. Think bigger. Guidance on how to mine your database, leverage command to run your digital savvy business. I am surprised how many people aren't taking advantage of that as I go along here. What an asset we have. Get command of. If you have any trouble with it, there's the man right there. Best practices for making calls, setting appointments, closing contracts right now. This is the biggie. Agents are averaging 11 pieces of business with 8 under contract. That's a nice January 1, nice New Year's gift to give yourself and your business. Okay?
In 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
In 7 weeks. Yep. So by the time January 1, you're thriving. You're thriving. Other people, now is the time, as we've learned with Shift, to grab that market share. Put all this in now so that you got the market share, and then when the market turns again, off we go. Okay. What you got? Oh, our favorite.
With hounds. You know I love the Hells, man. This is where it's all at. 2 turntables and a microphone. I see Tom right at the top of the list. Tom, what do you tell us about this place? 272 Lonsdale? Where is Lonsdale?
It's south on 19, west of 35, about 8 miles.
There you go. So if you're looking to live down there, what do we need to know?
By there. A great 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-car garage, unfinished basement, so there's a lot of potential to increase equity. Fully fenced yard, really nice home, 272.
Chad, I saw you sneak in back there.
Yes, sir.
You want to tell me about $700,000?
It is a beautiful acreage property. It is just north of the, so it's the development by Legends. Legends, just north of Legends. It's a 1990s 2-story super clean. We put a bunch of money into it in the last year and looking for a great buyer. So looking for acreage, outbuilding, let's talk. It's super.
Can they have a horse?
On 2.5 acres now. And you can fit them up in the woods, but you won't be too happy. And then we've got a single level up in Northfield, for anybody that visiting business down there, a couple of St. Paul, for 2 districts in St. Paul.
Nice. Tasha, what do you got?
3-level split on 5 acres in East Bethel. 90s built, kind of looks 90s built, but it's cute. And you can't see the water, but it has water behind the woods. And then I have a cute little starter home in downtown Savage.
Wins. Dean. Oh, I miss Scotty. He'll come back. Dean.
Actually, I am going to go shoot that one today with a camera. That is the cutest little English tutor you're ever gonna see. It's like just mint. I sound like a high schooler. Mint. And it's great house.
Awesome. How about my friend Scotty? What do we got?
4-bedroom, 2 baths, cute little split level, Brooklyn Park, under 400.
Under 400.
$500.
John?
Perfect.
John Hoffmeister. You have a withheld up there?
Oh, it's sold already.
Look at that. The price to be determined. I don't think the price is to be determined, has been determined. Is the correct answer for that one.
Closes in 2 weeks.
There you go. Anybody else? Krista.
How about, went on, a senior condo over in Rosemount in Walker Lake. It is going to be a short sale because it has a reverse mortgage on it. That's what the value. So, looking for offers on it. No rentals allowed, but, entertaining offers. It just needs some paint to carpet. And, 215, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Washer and dryer and all the appliances. And then I've got in St. Paul, I'm gonna do an open house on Thursday from 3 to 5, up in the Midway area, a little house on Edmonds, cute little street, real cute little, well-maintained little homes, that's kind of strange little pockets up there and that kind of thing. Walk to the light rail, it's right off of Snelling and University, about 4 blocks north of University. 259.9. 2-bedroom little, and it's got the whole upper attic expansion level could go as well too.
Anything on the top? Kelly.
I mentioned this one before, but it is still withheld. 2-bed, 3-bath, 2-car end unit in Lakeville, for around I think we were determined 314-ish, but we have to kind of look at that again before we go on the market. And that is a great, nice, clean unit by the Lakeville Library. And then I have a Roseville, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car detached, that has new carpet, new paint, super cute little sunroom in the back, and that will be around 365-ish, I think, probably.
Anybody else?
This morning I just picked up a listing in Lakeville, way south Lakeville, almost all the way down to Lake Remington High School, 207 block of Hampshire. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage. It's gonna be around 3-ish, lots of 3s. Townhome, thank you. End unit townhome. It is.
What street's it on?
Hampshire.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice, sold. Back to the meeting. want to take a moment, because David Weekly Homes is sponsoring lunch today. But they'll be part of the vendor fair. And I think if you haven't been to a vendor fair, that shouldn't surprise you, because we haven't had one. But we're really excited about this opportunity to bring in all of our vendors, our preferred vendors, and have you have the opportunity to spend time with them, get to know their stuff, and maybe a little different and formal way than them standing up here and saying words. And, you know, I know how, you guys have much better attention spans than me, but I'm already half asleep by the time they get into the middle of it. So being able to go out there, meet them directly, spend time with them at their tables throughout the office, it'll be right here in the office. In addition to that, here in the training room, our small groups will be meeting just to talk about what they do, so you can think about whether that's the right group for me to join up and be part of that. So that'll be here in the training room with the vendors around the outside. It'll be a lot of fun for you to go out and meet these folks. So when you see David, thank him for lunch. I know David is not actually here, but you know. Is there have David? I don't know. If you do, you can see him there. And with that in mind, we're gonna move on to talking about MegaCam. MegaCam. My God.
While we get set up, excuse me, let's back up.
I don't think you should give it to Sarah, because she was late.
Sarah, congratulate Sarah.
Yeah, there you go. Kelly, are you joining us? Anna? We had Kelly, Anna, Steve, Olivia. All kinds of fun folks. And then, of course, my good friend Jamie. Ask some questions, talk about MegaCamp, explain MegaCamp. We're gonna put a chair here for Jamie, but he might walk around. He thinks he's Phil Donahue. Now, some of you might know who that is, and some of you might not. But at any rate, imagine he's just changed his name to Phil.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
Phil Donahue.
I do. I do Phil.
All right, she's already drinking problem. Well, thank you. I thought you'd rip on me because my glass actually matches my shirt.
I was going to.
Isn't that impressive?
They're not over.
Well, awesome. Thank you all for being here, panel. MegaCamp, that was my first big time KW experience, and I can't be more grateful to be there. These folks were either there physically or online. So let's just rattle off real quick. Let's start with Steve. Was this your first KW event?
February of 2002 was my first one.
Wow. Roughly how many do you think you've been to that are the big events across the country?
Oh, so that's 20 years, 2 a year, that'd be 40. I've probably been to 30 of them.
That's outstanding. That's impressive. That's all. Thank you. Well, what brings you back each time?
Gary Keller.
That's nice of him.
Does he pay your way?
Huh?
Does he pay your?
No, he doesn't pay my way. I could listen to Gary Keller. If he could stand on stage for 8 hours without going to the bathroom or getting a drink, I could do it in a seat. Wow. He's got so much wisdom. It's unbelievable.
Awesome. Thank you. And how about you, Kelly?
This was so I just did it online this time, and I did it online last year as well. And then this past February, I did family reunion in person. That was my first in-person event. Which honestly, considering I've been in real estate and been with Keller Williams for 5-ish years, that was my first time, so. But yeah, this MegaCamp was my second online.
What brought you back to it this year?
Well, honestly, part of it is because I do MAPS coaching, I do it for free. So that was part of it. Obviously the online portion of it is less expensive than going there. But again, I signed up because I can for free. And also just the amount of nuggets that you hear from, like Steve said, from Gary himself, as well as the panels that are there. Just, it's amazing. It's worth the time, worth setting time aside to do.
Thank you. Anna.
It was my first one.
Woohoo!
And I did online, so I would absolutely go back.
Awesome. Olivia, have you been to one before?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that there. I bet you I've been to more than 50 family reunions, mega camps, FSO, masterminds, coaching skills camps. Maybe 50 plus.
Pretty impressive, and what was super impressive was the fact that unfortunately, we needed to be separated, meaning leadership from agents because of volume, and we got some great nuggets there, but amazing thing for me was to see how passionate she was to be with the agents, and she would do about anything to be able to get to be with the agents, even though we weren't allowed in that room.
I got us in the room.
She got into the room. She went right to the top and said, we're going in there. And it's because when she's sitting there, she knows your businesses. She knows your, and when a great nugget comes up, she can discuss it with you. And to me, she could have mailed it in, but no, she pursued. So great glimpse into your heart. Appreciate that. So what do you think about the event overall, Olivia?
I thought it was great, and I think that, like Steve said, Gary is, the guy that we need to be listening to right now. And I think one of the things that he said that was the most impactful for me is that we're moving into we are in a skills-based market, not a speed-based market. And a lot of you have never seen a market like this. Most of us haven't. Maybe Krista, maybe Steve Rawl, maybe Hoffmeister, but that's about it. And so if we are not extremely sharp with our scripts and our objections, I love the fact that someone from stage said they have conversation partners, not script partners, they have conversation partners, and they're doing it 5 days a week. And so I think that we're kidding ourselves if we're not dusting back off our shift books and we're not like diving into those all the time as agents in this market. So that for me was probably one of the best things.
How about yourself, Ann? Thank you.
What was my favorite thing?
Yeah, what'd you think about it overall?
Overall, I feel like Gary Keller is just amazing, and I forget like how dope he really is until you're like listening to him talk, and you're like Steve said, like he just has so much wisdom to give, and it's like I could sit and write down almost every other word that he says, because it's like he's just constantly telling you things that you need to know. So I love Gary. I'm a fan.
I'm sure. We've got to let him know that he was referred to as dope. I think he would appreciate that very much.
I was gonna ask her what it meant, but
He's super lit.
Oh, wow. That explains it.
You got it, Tom? Okay, good.
Right.
Okay, well, that was a high of the
Lit.
event.
Yeah, lit, fire, lit. All right.
How about you, Kelly?
You were looking like you're weird.
And what specifically was the question again?
Oh, sure. Think about it overall.
Overall, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, like, everyone has said, Gary has so much wisdom, so much, but.
He's dope.
Oh, yes, so, yes, like, absolutely, he's lit, inspired, he's all those things. He's groovy. And just so much charisma, and I feel like sometimes, other brokerages can make fun of us for, drinking the Kool-Aid and, Gary is our god or whatever, and obviously that's, a little over the top, but at the same time, he's proven so much in the past, if you listen to what he said in the past and look at what the market has done, it's not without reason, that we all look up to him, and also I think it's amazing to hear from other agents who are talking about it. Like, for instance, Rachel Adams-Lee was on a panel, and then she sent out an email after that with like just a ton of her information of stuff that she talked about. And I sent it to Toddy and Jason then, and just, look at all this stuff, this is great. So just the, again, the whole sharing thing and how much everybody is willing to share their wisdom and their knowledge and their proven things that work. It's just, it's such a great culture, and it's a good reminder to all of us who sometimes we can take this for granted because it's what we know and it's what we have here. But it's, it's a good reminder of how amazing GW is.
Well, how did Gary get to that wisdom? But he asked a lot of questions of a lot of top people. He still does. So I
And
encourage
also, and he said specifically too, he could stop working anytime. He doesn't need to work. He works because he, what gets him out of bed in the morning is how can he make our businesses and our lives better. And
who does that.
That's awesome. Thank you. Steve, what was your biggest takeaway from the event? You could say one thing. What was your biggest thing? You were the CEO
I'm gonna
and
go off
you.
on a tangent first.
Okay, go for it.
Here we go.
This is gonna be dope. Maybe.
I think it'll be several years, but I think people from all different brokerages will look back someday and realize that Gary Keller saved the real estate business. He was willing to go out on tangents and make stands when it wasn't popular. And an example was when he announced that Keller Williams, I think it was at an event that was publicized. What's that? Inman. And Gary Inman ridiculed him on stage, and Gary didn't step back at all. But he said, we're going to become a technology company. And that was 5 or 6 years ago. And he established a platform. He downloaded the 400 biggest MLSs in the country. The first house I sold in 1993 is still in the MLS. That was part of the data he downloaded. And his whole purpose, long range, was to put it all in the cloud and have artificial intelligence. I think before I quit real estate, I'll be able to do a CMA, and the technology that Gary has created, and we've all helped him create it and upgrade it. I know it isn't where some of you want it to be for teams and stuff, but artificial intelligence will say, use this comp, and this comp. Because they have all the pictures, all the dimensions, all the data about that house. It's there. And you don't have, it'll save you so much work in terms of doing a CMA, it'll blow you away. So that's one of the things I'm so thankful for when I go and hear Gary talk about the market. You know, and if you haven't listened to Gary's podcast, Think Like a CEO, it is so awesome. And it talks about when he graduated from Baylor, went to Austin, sold 6 houses his first month. He never lived in Austin. And then he didn't sell anything for 3 or 4 or 5 months, went home for Christmas, and he wanted to borrow some money from his dad. And he said, well, prove to me that you're doing it. And he pulled out his calendar and his card file. And his dad gave him $500, and the rest is history. But, and you know, I almost didn't go down there. If you've seen my billfold on Facebook, Sunday night, I put my billfold on my car, got back in after I filled up with gas, went up the interstate, drove to Woodbury, drove to Farmington, drove back home and realized I didn't have my billfold. So I backtracked, found part of my billfold on the on-ramp, and then came back after midnight and found some more of my billfold on the interstate, but I didn't find my driver's license. Well, I can't get on a plane because my Visa card or my passport is expired, but someone dropped my billfold by my front door that night, and the next morning I had Monday morning when I had to get on a plane, I had my license. So I don't think it was, I think God intended me to be there.
And real quick, for you younger agents, a billfold is a wallet.
So anyway.
I needed that.
There you go.
I was so lost.
Were you really? Okay, I was like, oh, come on, Anna. Okay.
That's awesome.
Let's
Okay, another sidebar. How many of you have seen this before? Okay, I write the raw report every Wednesday, and if you don't get it emailed directly to you, and you'd like to, so that you can print out something like this to talk to a buyer or seller, put your name and email address on there. I know I posted on the Facebook group, but I went down there thinking that this shift was kind of temporary. And after going down there, I know it's not. It's gonna last 4 or 5 years easily. So if you've been thinking, oh, the interest rates are gonna come back down and the market's gonna take off again, think again, in my opinion. So I got way too many notes, so I gotta.
We'll come back, we'll come back to you. We'll come back,
I'll pass it on.
We'll let you dry the eyes. Appreciate your passion.
I tend to get
Love it.
emotional sometimes.
I love it, I love it. Kelly, do you have a favorite session or speaker? You did mention somebody, but what was the thing that really?
I will be completely honest, when I was doing it online, there were times that I was paying really close attention but not taking notes. And there were other times that I had it on the background, just doing other things, which I wasn't supposed to. But I really did get a lot from, well, the one I mentioned was Rachel Adamsley, who, shared all of her stuff. And if anybody wants me to forward that email with, she had scripts and she had, door knocking scripts and, just a ton of information there. I can forward it to anybody.
She spoke on social media.
Yes, yes.
Just so everybody knows that's.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, so yeah, I felt like her stuff was really good. And I know when I forwarded it on to Tati, she said, oh my gosh, she's mentioned to me before, but sometimes she's looking at social media and she goes down a wormhole, whatever. She goes, a lot of times it's her stuff that I'm looking at. So, I thought she was amazing and there were plenty others too, who were, some people I didn't even know their names. I missed them when they came up and I didn't recognize their faces. But everybody had something great to contribute.
It is pretty mind-blowing when, okay, you walk in and not only is it massive, but you're just not used to a company where you got a bunch of different people who are competitors in a way, absolutely sharing everything. We're talking all of their secrets and they share it with us so we can share it with you. Blown away. Hannah, any big takeaway, any special event or realtor, or what was your biggest takeaway from a session?
I feel like my biggest takeaway was that the market does not determine your success, it determines your strategy. I feel like of the whole thing, that was like my big takeaway, because it's like we constantly have to adapt as realtors, and like over the last few years that I've been in real estate, like I've had to adapt a few times, but I think this is gonna be my biggest time. And I feel like people get so scared when the market shifts, and like just to know, like we all just have to figure out how to navigate this market, and then we can all move forward and like everything's gonna be fine. So that's my biggest takeaway.
It's a huge takeaway, thank you. It's kind of like someone from down south that moves up to Minnesota and then they hit the winter and they don't know what to do. But on those flows, right? So we adjust.
Figure it out.
We figure it out. Olivia, what's your big, you got so much. We did those who haven't seen it, I got to interview her on the plane and it was outstanding, not because of me, partially because of me, but because of her. Well, what are some of the things that you're looking to implement, takeaways that you want to implement here?
Couple things. So one of the things I'm most excited about, if you haven't heard, they launched a new community through Keller Williams Realty International. It's called KW Wealth. And I'm super passionate about that. As you know, Colin and I, volunteer our time and run the wealth building clubs the third Wednesday of every month in this room. And so it's really cool to see that they're launching KW Wealth. And I signed up as a market center. And what that basically means for you, first of all, follow Brett Tanner on social media. He's amazing. He just took, somehow he figured out how to take like a 45 or 60-day vacation that would have cost him $110,000 with all of his kids and his wife. And somehow with how he manages all of his stuff, and he's got a credit card coach that coaches him how to get all these free things, and it cost him like $4,000. And they lived in luxury for like 60 days. He pulled his kids out of school in the spring and went on this trip. Anyways, so follow him. But KW Wealth, they once a month are teaching a wealth building course down at Keller Williams Realty International, and the investment is $1,000 for that class. With us signing up as a market center, you will get that at half price. So be on the lookout for those different classes. And we'll also be able to have access to all of the materials that they've created, the KW Wealth materials, and we'll be able to live stream some of those classes live right here in the training room. So I'm super excited about that. And then I think for the teams in the, on Zoom or in the room, I have it on order, it hasn't arrived yet, I just did it yesterday. The book that you should be reading is The 13 Mistakes That Managers Make. I went to a special event on Monday with Gary, and he gave a lot of ahas from that book. And even if you're not building a team, and even if you just, you lead your families, you lead your friends, you lead your place of worship. And I think by the looks of it, it's gonna be a really, really good book. So, I have more, but I'll stop. I don't know, when you Google, it's the first one that comes up.
I have it in my office.
Okay, perfect. Oh, okay. I really liked his, and this was yesterday was a very good reminder for me on this one, but when we look at our ROI, so return on investment versus our ROE, return on energy, where we're putting our energy really does matter. And so there was just an analogy from that Scott Meltoff from San Antonio. Stephen Brown is the book. So just a reminder for me, ROI versus ROE, return on energy. Where are you spending your time, whether it's negative or not, get out of that funk and get back into a positive mindset. We've talked about this actually a couple times in coaching sessions, Jamie and I, over the last week. When production is high, anxiety is low. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, get on the phones. And they talked a lot about being obsessed with your time. It's in the Red Book, we all know this. Be obsessed with your time from 9 to noon every single day. And Gary spoke about obsessed being a model. And so if there's a goal that you wanna reach, you've gotta become obsessed with it. And it starts with mastering your time from 9 to noon. A lot of things we've already heard, but good reminder, obviously.
Obnoxious with your calendar.
Correct.
Those.
Yeah, that's right.
I hear the word obnoxious.
Yeah, great.
And I vibe with it, I guess.
Right. Really? Yes, Jeff.
So I heard mindset discussed, and I heard anxiety, and I heard 4 to 5 years. And I'm thinking for the average Asian in this room, should we be scared?
No.
Why not?
Because we have the models. Gary wrote the shift book when the last shift hit in 08, 09, 10, 11. For those of us that were in the business then, if you follow that book and master those tactics, you're fine. If you fall into the mindset of this sucks, interest rates are high, the inventory's low, well then maybe. But if you snap out of that funk and you master the tactics of the shift book, then no. That's how one of the ways that we built KW Make and Grow was we passed out a shift book to everybody in town because their brokerages weren't training them on the shift, and we did. So like we have plenty of books, see Victoria, they're $15 or whatever they are, so I don't think.
What are the top 2 or 3 opportunities that you've seen on this? If there is
Say it one more time.
top 2 or 3 opportunities if we were to switch our contacts.
Opportunities with this market. Take market share when the agents that are selling 1 to 2 houses a year are gonna get out of the business. And 2, I think it's an incredible time to get into business with talent. The people are looking from other industries, so talent hunting for those of you that are building teams, I think is a really good opportunity.
Back to the mindset piece too. There's a lot of people, like you said, are feeling that fear. They're not making the calls. They're nervous about their future, so they're not making those calls. So it starts again with mindset. Yeah, Jeff.
Steve, I was just wondering what were the main, I'm sure you were gonna say, points that made you switch to thinking this is a 4 to 5 years shift?
Well, every time I listen to Gary and he goes through his charts, and if you can somehow get a copy of when Gary breaks down the market, he talks about there are 4 indicators that the government likes to see within certain percentages. I didn't get them all written down this time, but one of them is the consumer price index. And they like to see it at 2%. And Gary said right on stage, I'm pretty sure it was him, that he believes it'll be the end of 2023 before the consumer price index gets back in line. So the 4 are unemployment, inflation. What was inflation the last time you heard it in the news? About 8.5%. And someone tried to claim it was 0 because the month before was 9.5. Well, it's still 8.5. and they like to see inflation, the government, at 2%. So what are they gonna do to try and regulate it, to get it back down there? Well, the Fed's gonna increase their interest rates. What's gonna happen to mortgage interest rates? They're not gonna follow directly what the Fed does, but it will tag along. So we're at 5% now, roughly, for 30-year fixed. And if the Fed changes at 1%, which that's what they're talking, and that's probably gonna happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, it'll go to 6%. So one of the expressions I wrote down was, Gary said, what is the value in waiting? Are you gonna wait for the price to change 10%? Or are you gonna wait for the interest rate to go up 1%? And I don't have time, but I went in and did some calculations with the app. Well, Craig showed me the app on your phone. You can pull up a property and go clear to the bottom and you can play with the payments. Or you can go into the MLS under financials. But, you know, interest rates, you can buy and eventually refinance, correct? The average person stays 7 years. Don't think about what the payments are gonna be over 30 years. Think about what the payments are gonna be over 7 years. So I'm sorry, so consumer price index, unemployment, inflation, and I'm not sure what the fourth one is, but actually I'm gonna find all four of those.
Affordability.
And
Affordability.
Yeah, that might be it. Affordability index, which is based on the median income, medium priced home. And by the way, there's a big difference between average sale price and median sale price. Pay attention to that because it's a huge difference. But anyway, so I believe there's 4 things that are completely out of whack right now. And I don't believe our government has the skill set to get them back where they need to be. So that's why I believe it's gonna be another 4 or 5 years. You know, that's just my 2 cents. Huh?
More like $1.
Well, okay.
It's way more than 2 cents.
But, and another thing, and it kind of goes along with what Anna said, you know, forget the market, do the activities. Do the activities. And I think he mentioned, it was Gary, I think it said this, that based on what you did last year, you're gonna have to increase your activities 30 to 35% to produce the same business as you did last year. I'm sorry, this might sound like sad news.
But who in the room lead generated every day last year, 80% of the year, 3 hours a day?
No.
Not one of you,
No.
including me, right? So like increasing it from maybe 5 to 10 calls a week to 40 or 50, doable. If we are obsessed with our time block from 9 to noon every day.
We used to do 50 calls a day. Get me John.
Yeah, there you go. Amanda, did you have your?
I was just gonna make a lot of the points that we're getting right now too. The Market Center had posted the Marty Miller thing, the 66-day shift conversations.
Yep.
Like, I would encourage everybody, they're under 5 minutes, but so many of the points that we've talked about here are there. So I'm about a weekend, but it's just kind of how I start my morning, but it's a really easy way to, like, it's all different maps coaches that he meets with, so it's super cool to get, but literally what we're talking about, so much of that is on there in a doable way. It's 5 minutes. Yeah.
Amanda, is that on YouTube?
It is, yep.
I will post that again today.
Marty Miller.
Thank you, Jason.
I will post that again on the Facebook page today, and there'll also be a link on,
State-of-the-art dashboard.
there you go.
He teaches her that script.
He says it in his sleep.
The beauty of whatever the prognosis might be, or what we're assuming might happen, there might be a hurricane coming. All these activities will help you stabilize your home so you won't be affected. Okay, so all these activities will just bolster your home. Go ahead.
So I do want to thank everybody for coming up and talking today. Anybody have any last points you guys want to make? I do.
I do too.
Okay.
Because we have one more thing we need to discuss, so.
I'm thinking about teaching a class on how to interpret this. Actually, my wife once in a while proofreads my raw report before I hit send. And she says, tell me what it says in English. So,
We agree.
Thank you.
We agree.
So you may, well, today's Wednesday, so I got to write a raw report tonight. You may see a little paragraph at the end in English. But anyway, if you're interested in me teaching a class to kind of go through what do some of these numbers mean, by show of hands, you think you might attend it?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll do one.
Okay.
That is a winner.
Thank you.
All I was gonna say is like everything that we're talking about right now is the reason why you have to sign up for Bold. Like Bold is what's gonna help you get ready for the shift and make sure that you have business next year. Even though like it's kind of expensive, like it's worth.
It's actually not expensive.
No, it's not.
The slide was incorrect. It's 11.6 transactions on average from last fall. Those of us that took it years ago, it's been rewritten like 6 times and it's currently being rewritten right now. So the October 20th Bold launch will be brand new material. And it's an $800 investment. What's your average commission? 10 grand, times 11.6. You can afford to be there, right?
Yeah, good point.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you
Bold is in person. The links are in the Facebook group. And via email from Matt.
And I'd like to introduce my friend Michelle Topka. Did I get it right?
Topka.
There you go. Fantastic. She's going to tell us a little bit about building your dreams and enhancing lives.
Thank you. I'm Michelle Topka. I'm with David Weekly Homes, and it's great to be here. I sat there and I noticed I was shaking my head. I was in this, so it's really nice to be partnered up with a company that I don't know, it's so encouraging and also very educational, and I feel like I have that at David Weekly Homes. I'm here to introduce you guys to David Weekly Homes. Has anybody ever done a transaction with David Weekly? One. Okay, and how was it? Was it a good transaction?
It was in the North Metro.
Yeah, okay, so the Dayton area maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So David Weekly, we're the largest privately held builder. We're out of Texas and have been in business for 47 years. We've been in Minnesota for 7 years. We are, like I said, privately held. We're a little bit smaller of a national builder to where we take our time, we enter into communities. We've had 9 communities in the Minneapolis area. And I don't know, so I am in sales for them. I'm down in a community right here in Burnsville. I'm less than 5 minutes away. It's called the Preserve of Twin Lakes, and we are a small townhome community. So I'm right off of South Cross. If anybody has anybody who's looking for a townhome, please come see me. But really, I just wanted to introduce you guys to David Weekly. I think that we excel in a lot of areas. One is customer service. So I hope, like you said, doing a transaction with us, we want it to be as easy and smooth for the agents as possible. We take over and we really nurture and care for the clients. So that's something that I pride myself on, is to work for a company that follows through with customer service and really helps make it as easy and enjoyable as possible. So that is David Weekly in a nutshell. We also kind of align with what Keller Williams. Here we do a lot of volunteer work. We do quarterly food packaging. We build bunk beds, and we're a faith-based organization, and I think it shows in the way that we show up for other people. So I'm going to be here, and you guys are short on time. I'm going to be here for the vendor fair, and would like to introduce a little bit more of the communities that I'm in and answer any questions if anybody has any. So again, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So with that in mind, we're going to get fired up, go eat some lunch, and get on to the vendor fair. I want to thank everybody for coming. We know that this time is valuable for you, and we are constantly seeking your input on how we can do this better and make it better for you. In any way that you have any feedback at any time, please let any of us know. We're happy to figure out how to continue to improve the product that serves you better. And as part of that, that is the vendor fair. So I do want to take a moment right now and thank Victoria, who has done a tremendous amount of work to get this up and running, out of a crazy idea that just one day kind of came out of my mouth on accident. And then she took it and ran with it, which is what we're all about. So to provide you that information and for our vendors to come in here and provide them additional value, for you to get to know them and them to get to know you, so that we can provide the best services we can to our clients, especially in this troubled time. So we give Victoria a hand.
It's all for you. It's not me, it's all for you.
So, thank you all for coming. We'll get the music fired up, get something to eat, and we'll start the rest of this rolling.
Thank you, everybody. Grab your billfolds.
I like your cup.